Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Just this week, though.
Just this week. It's a surprise, one time only appearance.
One time only.
At least until the next episode.
The previous ones are all clones.
Yes, that's what happens. That's what I do. Is I keep a bunch of clones in the closet, and then when I'm ready to record a podcast, I just take one of you out, record, and then the clone disappears after the episode, and I have to start all over with a new clone the next episode.
Oh, that would be so weird, like finding out, like, oh, they've actually been, that's not the real one, that's a clone or something, you know, a doppelganger.
It's taken about, 12 years of us doing this for the truth to finally come out.
We've never had this discussion before, have we?
I mean, you wouldn't know.
I don't know. I mean, if you're giving me the memories of the previous ones, I might.
That's a good point. I don't know that. I don't think I gave the clones the memories of the other one. You have to start fresh all the time.
Oh, I hope I'm the real me. If you're the real you or not, that's a whole other thing. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, that's something your clones will never know.
On topic and off topic.
I wish there was a way to roll clones into what we've been playing this week. I just don't know how we can do it.
I can find a way, but I can throw in a little story here. A coworker of mine, she had to go and talk. She went to talk to the manager, so she goes into her office, and she didn't lock her computer. And we have a chat system we use, and so I see her in the office, and I'm right next to that PC. I have to do something. I can't just. She didn't lock it. It's her fault. I get on there.
Yeah, as long as you don't do anything that's going to get her fired.
I just send a message and I just say, "That's not the real me in your office." Enter and just back away. And then the head turn that I see through the glass.
That's when you just smile and wave.
Yep. But, actually being able to work this clone thing into what we've been playing, not technically a clone, but if you consider cosplaying as various characters as clones, then yes, these are clones.
It's close to cloning.
Like if you have the mannerisms down, and the voice and just everything in general, I guess, then yeah, you're pretty much a clone while being able to change back at will. Anyway, Danganronpa V3. Now then, that's an ending spoiler right there, but no one's going to know who or what I'm talking about.
I certainly won't.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave that part ambiguous as it can be right there. You're like, how does that fit in? That's just related to the end of the game? Did they clone someone from the previous game? Did they? I don't know. Is it someone cosplaying as a...
Is it a clone cosplaying as himself?
And then you're like, wait, what, was it one of the characters a cosplay, ultimate cosplayer? Yes. Is that related? I don't know, maybe. But it could be a clone.
I'm so
the cosplay can be a misdirect. You don't know now, do you?
I have no idea.
Anyway, finished it. I'm that the way they end that game, I am not happy. I'm happy to be done with it, but I am not happy. I messaged Shelby the next day, and I was like, "Hey, I'm done with this game." And
are you done, or are you just done?
No, I both.
Yeah.
But his question is, are you upset or disappointed? I just told him I finished. That was his first question. Upset or disappointed? He knows me well enough because I didn't say anything else about the game other than finish it.
Yeah.
And it's just the way they ended this. I feel insulted as a fan of the series.
Oh, well, that's never a good thing.
No, it is not. But understanding how they ended it, it's like they got to the last case and they're just like, oh, I'm so tired of this. Last class trial session on there, and they're done with it at that point. They're just you can easily tell they copped out or whatever, just said, nah, I'm done, or a writer quit or something. I don't know what happened. I don't really care. I just hate that they ended it that way.
Yeah. It's always disappointing when that happens.
Oh, very disappointing. If you don't care about spoilers, go and watch my stream on my VODs or something. It's there for, I don't know, a couple of months and about 2 months and a couple of weeks, I guess. Jeez, I just, But it makes me appreciate the previous 3 games and the animes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a game that I was just super disappointed in after playing. And I don't know that, I mean, aside from like Fester's Quest on the NES, which is just an all-time awful game.
I
think
we'll come back to that. Go ahead.
I think the closest I've ever been to just being disappointed at the ending of a game was Shadow of Mordor.
I never finished that.
The final boss fight felt like a letdown after the like pre-final boss fight, because the guy you fight before the final boss should have been the final boss, and then the ending of that was just a little disappointing. I enjoyed the game.
Don't you fight like? Is it the stomach of Sauron or something?
Liver, actually.
Liver. Is he the pre-final boss or final?
He's the final. The pancreas is the pre-final boss.
Okay, maybe it was whatever that was. It's like DLC or the next game. I think you play as a girl or something. That I may have saw the ending for it. I didn't like the ending of that one either.
Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't finished the second one.
It's like I get it because it takes place before the game or before the movie, before the games. Yeah, there we go. It takes place before the movies.
The game takes place before itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's a prequel to itself.
Yes.
Oh, time. Ugh. Timey, wimey, gobbledygoo. There we go.
That's something Doctor Who would actually do, I think. They would make a game a prequel to itself somehow.
There have been games that do that, where you get to the end and then it resets time and you're back at the start. Like nothing ever happened. And we're not talking just New Game Plus. It's like your save data deletes itself. That might be the original Nier game, I believe.
Oh, I don't know.
So yeah, you had to like back up your data, put it onto a memory card, play the game, do this ultimate ending where you reset the universe and then reload your save. So that way you can get back in there and do the other endings.
Yeah.
But yeah. Danganronpa V3, it's over. I'm so happy to move away from that. Jason's turn to start streaming a game, and he has decided to go with Dark Souls 2.
Interesting choice.
Very interesting. He's not doing Scholar of the First Sin. He's doing proper. And I think I need to try to talk him into doing a Scholar of the First Sin. That way me and Stuart can't just be fully like, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. Just based off memory and everything. Instead, it's like, okay, I remember this, but this is new here. This guy shouldn't be attacking you. Oh my God, what is that? That sort of thing is what I think we should do, but whatever, you know. I'm looking forward to him playing that, because that means at some point he will move to Dark Souls 3. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of that trilogy.
I think so.
And that, we all know Dark Souls 3 is like the best. Before Elden Ring, because Dark Souls 3 used the faster combat stuff from like Bloodborne and was cool. Anyway, other than that, started up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Which is weird to say.
Played that one yet.
It's very weird to say that I started that, because I hit continue and started from my save file, which was back in March of 24. I hadn't touched the game for almost a year. I've had it since release.
That's when you restart.
Yes and no. When you start the game, you're just getting into, oh god, I think it's called Calm. It starts with a K. The first town outside Midgar, because the first remake ends with you leaving Midgar, and you get a ride over to here. And I did everything in the town. Shinra soldiers show up trying to find me, and we escape. You're kind of in a big open world area, and that's where the game really opens up, and you explore, find chocobos and do stuff. And that's what I'm doing right now. It's like I got chocobo access. I'm wandering around, killing monsters, exploring the area, doing side quests. And game still looks good, even on a PS5 normal, which isn't saying much because that's what it originally released on. So yeah, that's going to be my streaming content for just if I stream regularly for a good while, depending if Stuart joins me or not. Yeah. And I really don't like how different the combat, or no, the equipment. They changed the way your equipment abilities and stuff work. I hate that it's changed so much. It makes sense the way it works, but it's functional.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever played Final Fantasy IX. It's like, oh, I got this new weapon. No. Now I need to use this weapon until I learn its ability. Now I know its ability. I can use it with whatever I want now. So you can mix and match. So that's in there. I think that may have been in just remake as well. Possibly. It's been a moment. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in there and just... but it's like, I do that. It's like, okay, now I know that ability. And then I have to go and find this... It looks like an arcade cabinet, and I have to buy other abilities. Like I can get like a free fire attack that doesn't cost MP, or a wind attack. Found a materia that didn't exist in the original game called Fire and Ice. And so it has all three levels of both of those. So Fire, Rough, the whatever.
Firaga.
There we go, Firaga. And same for the ice side of that. And so that means I have I can have up to 6 different spells for 2 different elements on one materia. And it's just, that's amazing to me. So it's like kind of game breaking, but it's also like a convenience as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to when I find that add element materia, and I'm going to slot that together on my weapon with that materia and see what it does. So it's like, am I doing fire and ice damage with one slice of the sword? Who knows? But yeah, I'm slowly getting better with the knowing what the equipment, materia, all the new stuff. Getting there. It's technically I'm still in a tutorial is probably the best way to say it.
Yeah, I need to pick up Rebirth at some point and play it.
I know the PC version was, I want to say it was like 20% off on Green Man Gaming, but that was like before the game came out, and they usually have good sales on PC versions of games just before launch to help sell them. kind of kicking myself for not getting on that, but the game will be on like a Steam sale probably within a year.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find it cheap enough, especially on console at some point.
Oh, I would imagine it'll get down to pretty cheap before long.
Did you play the original?
There are Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played it on PC back in the day.
Okay. Good. It's God. That's such a yeah. We talked about that before. Such a good game.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII is great. I've played. Let's see. I've played everything up through 7, and then 13 and 15, 8, 9, 10.
I thought you didn't play 5.
12. No, I haven't. You're right. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I played 6 recently. Actually, it was just about a year ago that I played 6 for the first time. 7 is actually the first one I ever played. I played that on PC back pretty soon after it originally came out.
I may have played one of them on the Super Nintendo when I was much younger. Briefly as a rental game.
Yeah.
Could not tell you though. I have no memory what the actual game name was. I just remember a tiger kicked my butt. Or no, a lion, sorry. But other than that, yeah, 7 was probably a starting point for me as well. But that was also the same year that Final Fantasy 8 was going to come out, so I ended up like really enjoying 7, but 8 was like the first one I went out of my way to go and find that wasn't already a greatest hits. It was because it was like, oh, it's coming out soon. Enjoy this demo. Which oddly enough led into getting Brave Fencer Musashi, which is also a Square Enix game.
I've never played that one.
Action oriented, but it's an RPG. It's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get any more distracted and talking, we should probably talk about what you've played, Tony.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see. What have I played? I am still going through Dragon Quest III.
Ooh.
I'm getting distracted by other games, and so I'm taking my time with that one because I know it's going to take forever. I'm about halfway through it, I think, at this point.
Okay.
So when
Didn't you drop the difficulty or something?
I did drop the difficulty. I went from Dragon Quest mode to Draki mode, Draki Quest, and that has helped. That has helped keep me interested in this version of the game because I do think it's poorly balanced. It's got some issues with difficulty spikes that are just frustrating beyond belief.
Yeah, I can see it still being tough even back in the day too.
Like the HD, the mobile port on Switch, I never had any issues with. I was always slightly over leveled for where I needed to be versus the new one where I always just feel slightly under leveled, or more than slightly under leveled, usually a couple of levels short. So I did drop the difficulty, and that's helped keep me from getting super frustrated and having things just frustrate me to the point of wanting to turn the game off.
Right.
I've still been playing the game like it's, the regular difficulty, and I've only had a couple of moments where a character would have ended up dying. And they don't, because in Draki mode they go down to 1 HP.
Yep.
But they stay alive. They don't die. And that's only happened once or twice since I dropped the difficulty level. So, but yeah, I like the game. I really, really like the game, and I'm very excited for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 when that comes out. I hope they take some feedback from people with Dragon Quest 3 and they apply that to 1 and 2, and the balance is a little better when that game comes out. So, but I'm still playing through that. I have started playing Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Oh.
I got that as a late Christmas present from one of my kids, and that game is good so far. Like I I have the same frustration with that game that every other person who is a longtime fan of the Mario and Luigi series has, and that is they have removed Luigi's selection button in the the battle menu. So like whenever you're trying to pick a command, you have to use the A button to select what attack you want to use, not the B button like it should be for Luigi. And so what ends up happening is because your finger is not on the Luigi button when you select the action, a lot of times you forget to move your finger back to the Luigi button because the actual attack action is still the B button. The only thing they've changed is which button you use to select which attack you're going to do.
Yeah.
So you have to move your finger off of Luigi's button over to Mario's button to select an attack, and then move it back to Luigi's button. And that has caused so many missed action commands because my finger is on the wrong button.
It took me a second to realize where you were going with this. I'm glad you explained that. That is a massive oversight that should not have happened.
It is a small little detail, but for someone who's played every game in this series, you are so used to every single thing you do with Luigi being the B button.
Yeah, he's his own other button there. That's what that's for.
Yeah.
And
so it's a tiny little thing, but it is a frustrating thing. I'm surprised they haven't patched that somehow to fix that one little thing. And I guess maybe they think it's not that big a deal, and more people are going to be fine with the buttons the way they are.
Miyamoto greenlit. He said, "Yeah, good enough."
So,
getting on in his old age.
The change to 3D is really cool. I like the visual style. I like the characters. I'm just a few levels into it, so I can't speak super detailed about it. But yeah, I'm very excited to get back into that. But the game I've been playing most lately, and I think it's a fantastic game, is Astro Bot on the PS5.
Yeah.
I have been playing through that. I just got credits earlier today on that, so I have finished the story. I have a few little things to go back and do. I think I have there are puzzle pieces that you can collect that unlock things in the hub world, and I have like 10 puzzle pieces left to get and 20 characters left.
I was about to ask how many characters.
There are 300 bots that you have to, if you want to collect them all.
And that's not including the DLC, bots. Right?
I have not seen anything about DLC, so
I think it was done as like
touched any.
I think it was done as like a patch.
Okay,
I have no idea. I don't own the game. I want to get it. I just haven't bothered.
But there are 300 bots throughout the game. There's 5 galaxies. It's actually split apart by they're not galaxies. They're really more I guess galaxies.
Yeah. Close enough.
And then each galaxy has a number of planets that you go. It's like playing Mario Galaxy in that respect. And then each level has between like 5 and 7 different robots that you collect, and about half of them are specific PlayStation themed characters.
Yeah, they are.
So it'll be Crash Bandicoot or Aloy or Nathan Drake, Parappa the Rapper, Ooh La La, Snake. There's multiple. There's Snake. I don't remember some of his other versions.
Raiden, Big Boss, Venom Snake, Solid Snake. Oh no. Oh no.
There are 3 or 4 different Metal Gear Solid bots in there.
Yep.
Characters from The Last of Us.
They even have Joker from Persona 5 in there.
Joker is one of the bots that you can find. Yes.
On the casino
there's
level.
multiple Persona. Yeah, there's multiple Persona characters. There is the Teddy. The android girl whose name I cannot remember.
I guess
from Persona 4.
Oh wait, 4
is I think it's 4.
3.
Maybe it's 3.
3. Yeah, I guess from 3. Kratos from God of War, and technically you play as him.
The main character from Gravity Rush. Oh yeah, you play as. Let's see, there are 5 different ones that you play as. I don't want to spoil it for people who might be interested in playing it, but there is a God of War specific level where you play as as Kratos. Basically, it's not. He's actually off on the side. You get dressed up as Kratos, and he gives you his axe, and you use that to play through the level.
He takes a break and says, "Go find boy."
Basically. So yeah, but the game is fantastic. Like the platforming, I love the Astrobot games. I played the one on the PS5 that comes with the PS5, Astro's Playroom. I got the platinum in that one. I have played Astrobot Rescue Mission, which was the PS4 VR game, which is amazing. I think I may actually like that one more than Astrobot, just because the VR does things that a regular platformer can't do.
Right.
And it allows them to do things with the camera that you wouldn't normally be able to do, to hide things where you have to actually like peek around corners because you can't get the camera to move over there otherwise. It was really, really fun and innovative the way they did that, and I miss that VR stuff in Astrobot. Like I love this game, but it's one of those things that like it doesn't do anything new. There's nothing in this game that you haven't seen in other platformers before. But
it's just fun.
It's fun, and everything it does well. Like mechanics that it has return in fun ways. They don't overstay their welcome. There's no mechanic that you're like, I really hate this. I wish they would not have done this. All of the power-ups that you get are interesting. They use them in some pretty clever ways. I think the problem, if you can call it that I have with the game, is that it's not been that long since I played Astrobot Rescue Mission, and so all of this feels very much like I've done that already very recently, because all of the things that you do in Astrobot, they did in Astrobot Rescue Mission. It almost feels like this is just like a remastered version of that game that took out the VR stuff.
Okay.
But that's not to say it's a bad game or that I hate it or that it's it's not fun, because none of that is true. It just, for me specifically, it feels like I've done this very recently. But it's such a good game. It takes a lot of inspiration from Ratchet and Clank, Mario, obviously. I felt multiple times playing this game that it felt very Mario Galaxy 2 like it doesn't use the Mario Galaxy 1 was all about the way you move around the planets, and it focused very heavily on that. Mario Galaxy 2 felt more like a regular Mario 3D platformer, and this feels very much like if this could have been Mario Galaxy 3. They could have put Mario in there and changed all of the enemies to Goombas and Koopa Troopas, and it would have felt very much like a Mario Galaxy 3. It's all of the love that it has gotten. The Game of the Year talk that it got was well deserved. I don't know that maybe I would have put it as my Game of the Year. It probably still, if I had played this in 2024, it probably still would have fallen behind Warhammer and that other game that I have just gone blank on that I gave Oh, Indiana Jones.
Yes, yes.
It probably would have fallen behind those three, because Warhammer, or those two, because Warhammer and Indiana Jones were just so good. But it was a great way to start off the year. Like, it is the perfect, just fun, enjoy the snow, because it snowed here, and I had, when I wasn't playing in the snow with the kids, I was playing Astrobot. And it reminded me why I love platformers so much. And there was not one single moment that I thought, you know what, I'm just hating this. I don't ever want to do this. There's not one level that I was like, I never want to play this level again now that I've finished it. And like the Mario games, it's not super difficult. They do some challenging things, and there are some levels that will test your platforming and your skills and push you to the limit some. But and I haven't seen if there's like at the end of a Mario game, they always give you that super difficult test every single thing you've done in the game all in this one level. I assume there's probably something like that in Astrobot, but I haven't seen it. I don't know if I need to like collect all the bots to unlock something or what, but
I think so. I'm not sure. I've only seen speedruns of the game. They don't do 100%.
Yeah.
I want to say I've heard something about getting everyone does something.
Okay. Well, I am very close to that. I have 20 bots left to collect.
And you would hope they would do something, because it's like, this should be your reward for doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I did unlock, I turned the game on just a few minutes before we started recording, and I unlocked a Christmas-themed level that is just like a playground where you go in, and it gives you all of the different power-ups. There are places in the level that let you use each power-up, and there are like 15 hidden items throughout the level, and like 8 PlayStation-themed specific bots to collect. There's costumes, like you unlock costumes throughout the game that will let you dress up Astro in different PlayStation character themed outfits. Once I unlocked the Ratchet outfit, I have played the entire game as Ratchet, so it's almost like I'm playing a Ratchet and Clank game.
Okay.
One of the things that I feel a little bit sort of like, it didn't really do anything new with the PlayStation 5 controller that you haven't already seen before. I don't know if that's just because there's nothing new you can do with the PlayStation 5 controller, but Astro's Playroom felt very much like, we are just going to show you everything that this controller can do, and let you just try out all the different stuff. And Astrobot has all of that same stuff. There's no new mechanics in the game that use the controller in interesting and innovative ways compared to the previous game in the series. But overall, it's a fantastic platformer, and well worth your time, especially if you are a long-time PlayStation fan, because it is just filled to the brim with PlayStation history.
It's a nostalgia overdrive.
That is basically the entire point of this game, is just to celebrate the history of PlayStation. And the final boss fight reminds you that only the history of PlayStation can save the galaxy.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the fact that you're technically fighting a giant green and black monster. They couldn't do red because they wanted to stay friends.
That's right. I don't want to spoil anything about the final boss fight, but it was a lot of fun. And it literally was using the power of the history of PlayStation to save the galaxy.
I love seeing the little bot surfing on the memory card.
Yes. Yeah, there's all kinds of those just little nostalgia touches throughout the game. What I hope though going forward with the series, I'm 100% positive we will get another Astrobot game. I have no doubt about that. I think this series has shown that it has staying power, and it should. I think this series should be Sony's version of the Mario games. But what I do hope going forward is that they move away from that PlayStation nostalgia and just let Astro start to develop his own sort of, personality outside of PlayStation nostalgia.
Or let him be the reason that we get more of that PlayStation nostalgia going forward, or bringing back these old games that, like, when's the last time we had a Jak and Daxter game? I don't know if they were in there, but I would love to see more of that.
Yeah.
We haven't had an Ape Escape game since what, PS3?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Sony, you're missing out.
It's been a while since we've gotten a Patapon game.
Patapon. Loco Roco. That was a cool level in that game.
Sly Cooper. Oh, that was a fantastic level in that game. I've never played Loco Roco, but I had a blast playing the Loco Roco.
It is very much like that, playing that game.
Let's see, what else? I was just saying something. Well, I mean, we need a new Infamous.
I said that to Stuart just last night before we started Final Fantasy VII. I was like, man, we need a new Infamous game. And he's like, well, Sony just killed off a bunch of their live service games. Spoiler for anyone who cares about news, but it's not part of our news. Who cares about that? But it was like they supposedly had that team working on a live service game and pulled them off of that and canceled that, whatever it was they were doing. So it's like, okay, well, I guess they're free to do a new Infamous. Good luck getting Sony to do that, though.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, who's the studio behind that?
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
They did. Oh gosh, they just did a game not that long ago, didn't they?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, that's what it is. They're doing the sequel right now or something. So
they're doing Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna not make an Infamous game, the Ghost series is a good one to be doing. That first game was amazing.
Yeah, it's like you wanted Assassin's Creed, you can't get Assassin's Creed? Here, have Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Sure, Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan, and you'll love it.
But now that once they ship Ghost of Yotai, they need to do another Infamous game. I think the time has come for another Infamous game, or just get somebody to remaster the first two and put them on PS5. And that Vampire DLC.
Do a remaster of the first two on PS5 and use that as a way to judge if we deserve another Infamous game.
I'd buy them.
Well, there we go. We got two copies sold right there.
I'm
counting myself in there, not just you twice.
Yeah, I mean, if I need to buy it twice, I'll buy it twice. But I don't want to buy it twice if I don't have to.
Well, now we're not releasing it because you don't want to buy it twice.
Oh, well,
it's going to stay in this vault of what if games forever.
Great. I have just put Infamous in the Disney vault forever. I'm so sorry.
Oh, they could have done that as a live. Ooh, that would have been gross. I'm thinking of one of the endings they could have done from Second Son, whenever you had that ending where it's like, oh, we could have turned everyone into supers. And we did. Or the other one where it's like, you killed all the supers. Whoops.
Now there are none.
Or was
that everybody's super? Then nobody is.
Was that Second Son, or was that Infamous 2?
I think that was the end of Infamous 2.
Yeah, because you had to do the heartbeat thing with your powers, and that's how you found that girl that was needing help. And then she gets powers and just like, all right, bye, and flies off. You're like, what the hell? I can't fly.
Why didn't I get that power?
It's like she literally just got her powers, just instantly knows how to fly. You're like, I fought my future self and I killed him. I lived. What the heck?
I mean, there are a lot of PlayStation games that
Infamous is weird when you think about it too. Sorry, I had to say it. It's just.
I mean, it's one of those things that both Nintendo and Sony are sitting on, like, and Microsoft really they're all sitting on vaults of just old IP that people have been clamoring for, and nobody's doing anything with them.
I know why they haven't released another Infamous game. We don't have another prototype game to compete with.
It's true.
Yep, we need
somebody needs to get on prototype so we can get Infamous.
Yep. Prototype game dev. Who is the developer? Radical Entertainment. Are they still around?
I have no clue.
Publisher Activision. Ugh.
So Microsoft.
Yep. Hey, Microsoft. There we go. All right. Microsoft, make Prototype 3 so we can have another Infamous game.
I like that idea.
Definitely no ulterior motives in there or anything.
Let's see. We also need another Horizon game so that we'll get another Zelda game.
Yeah, but then we have another Horizon game. We got to deal with the complaints that'll come in from that, and
nobody's going to play it. We just need them to develop it and give it a release date so that we have a release date for the next Nintendo game.
But aren't they doing like a series or a movie right now?
They're doing it. I think they're doing a TV show. I think maybe it was a movie.
And that's and then they're going to do a rematch. They'll do Horizon Zero Dawn remaster remake. That's what they're going to do on the PS5 again for the Pro version. Yep. And then they're going to be like, "Oh, here, have Forbidden West remastered." I don't think that's been remastered yet. So I'm assuming that we can do that step.
Yet, no.
Okay, so we're overdue for that step now too. There we go. Boom, mic drop. Games no one wanted remakes or remasters for that were late that were PS4 games that were high end already.
Mm-hmm.
And heck, let's just put that model from the second game over to the third game as well, like we did with the remake for the remaster of the first game, because why not? Yeah.
And then we're going to get remasters of Last of Us 1 and 2 in a bundle.
And it comes with a demo for Last of Us 3, and it's just the title screen. That's all it is.
Yep. So, but that's what I've been playing. Is
the Last of Us 3, The First of Us.
Oh man, it's a prequel. So, let's move on though.
I have more off track, please. Yes.
I have finished my history of the PlayStation. So, move on to the news. And there's only a couple things that we're going to talk about this week. The first is the biggest, or the worst kept secret now in the history of video games.
Do you want to start with the show in there like that?
I mean, yeah, because we're going to talk about the other thing, and we're going to spend forever talking about the stuff that we watched.
Okay.
So,
spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, well, now we're already talking about it. I guess we got to go through with it. So,
GDQ was awesome. That's all you need to know.
Well, it was awesome. Games done quick. There you go.
Yep. See?
Okay. He said the word Nintendo. All right, we're in there.
Nintendo. Yes, the Nintendo Switch 2 was officially unveiled this past week in a 2-minute and 22-second trailer. which I thought was a nice touch on Nintendo's part. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that was a happy coincidence. I think it has to have been on purpose.
It was
right?
It was on purpose.
And they showed off that all of the leaks about the system and what it looked like were 100% true.
Even that little prototype shell people were showing off at CES, Consumer Electronics Show?
The Consumer Electronics Show, yeah.
Yeah, that was confirmed. Like the guy was like comparing the video to the actual thing. And he's like, this is the one we had at the thing. The guy gave it to me. Here it is. Comparison. Everything's matching up.
Yeah. So it is bigger, slightly bigger. I mean, I guess slightly bigger is what you could say.
Bigger,
I think it's
better.
like an 8.5-inch screen.
Sure.
I don't. The way they did it, what they showed off the original Switch, and then they took the Joy-Cons off and made the screen bigger.
You see it expand slightly.
Yep, they did all this CG stuff to show the I/O for all the different ports, the volume control, all the stuff on the body of the system.
I could easily take that video, cut the audio, and put the Digimon Digivolve soundtrack in there.
You probably could.
It would fit so well. It works for it. And Switch, Digivolve 2, Switch 2. Bam.
Switch 2. Yep. Then they showed off the new Joy-Cons, which are slightly bigger. And the whole system is black now. The version that we are going to be seeing first is black with orange highlights on the right Joy-Con under the analog stick, and the side rail is a solid orange color. And then the left Joy-Con has blue. The actual, I think it's pretty much the same color from the original Switch.
Yeah, it's the neon red and blue.
The orange looks different to me than the original Switch.
It's neon red.
It looks more orange this time rather than more red.
When you see it in person, you'll be like, oh, that's the difference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There something to do with red, just the way you capture video on it and look at it on stuff. Sometimes it looks orange and it's going to be more red when you see it with your eyes. It's a weird thing. And other times you can look at stuff that's red and it's actually orange or something. I can't explain it. Colors are weird. Unless you're colorblind, then it's even weirder.
I imagine it would be very weird. Let's see. One new thing. There's two new things about the Joy-Cons. The right Joy-Con no longer has the IR sensor. They removed that, which is fine because nobody wants to play 1-2 Switch on Switch 2.
There's like 6 games that used it.
Or I guess Labo is going to be unavailable to play on Switch 2.
Oh no! Does that mean I can't play House of the Dead?
I guess so.
Oh no! And we just had House of the Dead 2 remake announced.
Well, I imagine
it'll work somehow. I'm sure
there'll be a different way for it to work on Switch 2.
Yeah.
But the other thing that it looks like the controllers have, though, and it hasn't been confirmed, it's just speculation. What it looks like is that the Joy-Cons now have a optical mouse sensor in the rails, so you'll be able to turn them on their sides, and it looks like you'll be able to use them as a mouse.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I could see it working, but at the same time, it's like, really, guys? Are you sure?
So,
on the system itself, though, they have like where you connect the Joy-Cons, instead of them sliding from the top and locking in, it's now like a slot on the side that goes into the system. And so they just go in, like they don't go from the top, slide down. They just go right into the system directly.
Yeah.
And they're magnetic.
They're magnetic.
So, Tony, don't let your kid carry it around by the Joy-Con this time.
My kids are old enough not to do that.
I'm telling you anyway.
So I'm curious to see what Nintendo's going to do with that, because you know that they have something in mind with. They don't put things on a system if they're not going to use it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very interested to see what they do with that and how it's going to be implemented with third parties. Like, are you going to be able to play Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard on Switch if you want to now?
There were people pointing out the addition of a second USB-C port, one on top of the
Yes,
system. I
you'll be
think.
able to charge it from the top this time now instead of the bottom if you're playing in handheld mode and need to charge while you're playing. I never really had an issue with charging from the bottom.
I can see people having issues with it myself, but I've never. I don't use mine in portable mode. It just like I don't know, just it's like something's weird when I try to play it that way. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've pretty much exclusively, with the exception of Dragon Quest, for like the last 2 or 3 years, I've played exclusively in handheld mode. I use the Nitro deck though, when I play Switch, and I hope Cracked has something around the launch of Switch 2 to put because I love the Nitro deck. I think it is a fantastic shell for the Switch.
I really, really hope the dock, which we only got to see briefly on there, it doesn't look angular anymore. It's now curved on the side, so that's good. But I'm really hoping it comes with an Ethernet port by default.
Oh gosh, I
just was it the newer version of the Switch? The
OLED has the Ethernet port built
into
the dock. Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, you're like me and you have the Hyper. I think it's a Hyperkin. No. What's that other company that does cool stuff?
Mad Cats.
No. The cool company.
8-bit do.
Oh, either way, I have mine has an Ethernet port. It's done through the USB stuff, but it's still there. It works.
Yeah.
I have the Switch here in a second.
We don't know anything really about the system other than what it looks like. That's all they showed off. Was they're just basically saying, "Hey, yes, the Switch 2 is real. Here it is." They did give a date for a Switch 2 specific Nintendo Direct, and that will be on April 2nd. Where I guess they'll show off more about the system. We'll get some more information about maybe some of the specs, what the UI looks like, games that will be coming for it. That'll happen on April 2nd. But for right now, the only game from Nintendo that we know is coming is a new Mario Kart game, because they showed that off during the Switch reveal trailer.
It was Hori. That's the company.
Hori, okay.
And it was officially Nintendo branded as well. So, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I knew it started with an H.
The next Mario Kart game will most likely be a launch title for Switch 2. They didn't say what the name of the new Mario Kart game is, whether it's going to be Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart 10, Mario Kart Switch 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 2, who knows?
Didn't I say that as a joke to you?
Yeah, you did.
Which technically would be Mario Kart 8 3.
That's true. It would be. That's how they're going to try to get Mario Kart 8 to 100 million, is they're going to release another version of it on Switch 2 that has all the DLC included, plus a whole bunch of new tracks. No, that's not what's happening.
I still like the latest version of Mario Kart, which is Mario Kart 64. Means we still have like 63 games before that one.
Hey.
Yeah, who knew we were playing a Mario Kart game of the future before these other ones came out?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten Mario Kart 2.
We haven't.
Sorry. All right.
So Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart game has been shown off. They showed off a new track which looks desert themed.
There was a gas station with Yoshi on it or something.
A Yoshi themed. It looks like a diner, not necessarily a gas station.
I thought it was maybe it's a combo. I don't know. I thought it was a gas station from the front of it.
It might be a combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut kind of thing. I don't know. Get your pizza and mushroom tacos all at one place.
Oh.
The thing I loved about that building though is that Yoshi is just so vain. It makes me. He's got to be, because the building is designed like his face. So,
the speculation the internet's been having over this building as well, just analyzing everything they can on that, just the brief Mario Kart stuff we had, and they're like, "Oh, who's this right here in front of the building? Is that a new power up? What's going on?"
I have seen all kinds of like in-depth analysis, frame by frame. It looks like it's a to-go bag for a restaurant. A lot of people were speculating maybe it was like Wonder Seeds, but no, it looks like it is a to-go bag for food.
I wonder if it'll be like a submission thing you can do during races for unlocking additional stuff, or characters, or things. I don't know.
Collect all these things during the race, and you unlock something special or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like Diddy Kong Racing. You would have races where you had to get all the coins, find the key, come in first. You had all these different objectives, and it's like they were all different races too, but you still had to come in first every time.
I'd love like a mission-based career mode in Mario Kart.
Oh, it'd be so nice. It's like, okay, this unlocks this cart, so now you have the clown cart unlocked for everyone. Oh, and you want these off-road wheels. There we go. Those are unlocked. What's that? You're using tilt controls? All right. Bonus points.
The other thing that we can tell from the trailer is that they are using the updated models for the characters. Looks like maybe the movie versions of the characters, at least especially Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong looks like the movie version of Donkey Kong.
It's a really good version of him, though.
Oh, it is. It's a great version of that character.
And there's no reason they can't use those models. It's theirs, and putting them into the games, that makes perfect sense all around.
Yeah.
That means we get the movie vehicles as, oh gosh. That means we're getting like the weird Donkey Kong vehicle too, probably. The double barrel, the double barrel vehicle. That'd be funny.
I'd be okay with that. The one thing that is disappointing though is that it does look like there is no double dash mechanics, which I really would love to see come back at some point.
That we know of so far.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know one track and tiny little bits of information about it. I don't think they'll ever bring 2-player carts back, which is sad. But it was just a fun. I loved Double Dash. It's probably my favorite Mario Kart game.
We need more baby Park.
Oh gosh. Oh, that reminds me. 24-player races now. Mm-hmm. What it looks like based on the start line from the video. It had 24 slots for cars. So
that's going to be a lot of characters to have on there.
Insane.
So let's see, Mario, Luigi, Peach.
I know some people were combing that trailer for silhouettes of new characters to see if they could find that. People were saying maybe Koopa Troopa is back as a playable character. I saw somebody said it looks like Pauline is going to be playable in the game.
They've been using her for a lot of stuff. I could see them doing that.
Yeah. So no official confirmation, obviously. People just doing what they do when Nintendo releases a trailer and picking it apart frame by frame and trying to find every tiny piece of information they possibly can.
I wonder if anyone's taken the audio from the whole thing and put it into a spectrograph? The thing where it turns the audio into a visual representation. I bet it's got some cool stuff in there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do it.
The big question though, is are we going to get the Luigi Death Stare? Is it going to make a return?
As long as they don't just bring back the stupid Mario Kart TV thing that didn't really work that well.
Yeah.
Like, either give us a direct YouTube upload or don't do it at all.
Well, we shall see. I imagine we will get a bunch of information about Mario Kart on April 2nd.
I hope so. If anything, we'll get more information on the Switch too, and that's good enough.
Yeah. I'm hoping we get a decent amount of launch titles shown off for Switch 2 on the April Direct.
What if the reason we haven't gotten the third episode of 100 Fires is because it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive?
Hey, we're going to get 100 Fires remastered.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to run it out to get a Switch 2, start speed running it on there, and submit that for GDQ.
The full trilogy will be available on one cartridge. And that also reminds me, they had confirmed this before already, but they officially confirmed that Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with most Switch 1 titles. They made sure to put that asterisk in the thing saying not all Switch titles will be available, most will. And I'm assuming that is because of the removal of the IR sensor. So games like 1-2 Switch or the Labo stuff or anything that uses the IR sensor is not going to be available. But the entire, apart from that, the entire physical and digital library for Switch 1 will be playable on Switch 2.
Oh no!
And I'm assuming your library will just migrate if you have, as long as you use the same Nintendo Network ID.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like, how are we going to do the system transfer this time?
I don't know what characters they could use this time.
They can still use Pikmin. It's worked for them for what, 3 different systems already?
I mean, that's true. Pikmin are the workhorses for Nintendo, so
they're small enough and they can carry those bytes, kilobytes, megabytes.
Yeah.
I hope they do it a smart way where it's like, here, upload to the cloud. Here, download from your cloud. All right, you're good to go. Because all you do is log in. It's like, okay, I want to grab this. Oh yeah, we have cloud saving, don't we?
Yep.
All right, yeah, I think we're set.
Yep.
Cool. As long as Nintendo doesn't screw it up somehow.
All your save files should work on Switch 2.
Nice. Hype is real.
But there you go. That is it for the Switch news. So
on to the other news.
The other important thing that happened over the last couple of weeks was AGDQ.
Awesome games done quick. The winter version of games done quick. Happened over the over the 5th through the 11th. Let's see. I've already forgotten how much they raised, Tony. I know it was 2.55 million. 2 million.
I'm trying to see.
And it was over 2 million, and it's like 2.5 million, 2.55. I don't know the exact number. But there was a ton of good runs. You know what?
There were a lot of good runs. There are still a bunch that I need to go back and watch, but there were some good runs. That was 2024.
Let's see. It looks. I know, like right at the end of the final run, they were at $2,556,025. I don't know if they cut it off right then and there. I don't remember. A lot's happened since over a week ago. Overshot it. Okay. Anyway, they had a number of good runs. Each year they get better and better on how to do the event, how stuff needs to work and get the flow down. And this year apparently was like they had something for SGDQ. They did something different, and everyone enjoyed it, and it made everything go a lot smoother. Staff was happy, runners were happy, and audience was happy. This year they did it even better, doing the same thing, knew what they were doing. So it was like happiness all around. People were just like, oh, this was done so well. You didn't have to sit there for half an hour listening to ads and stuff for them just, stalling for time or trying to do more interviews or something that just felt really forced. So this was all really good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this was for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The summer one is the Doctors Without Borders. So
yeah,
that's the one I usually go to. But God, how long have we been doing this? I feel like I'm gushing over GDQ like each and every time I can, and as I should.
Well, we do talk about GDQ every time it comes up. Twice a year, we spend quite a while talking about GDQ.
Yeah, and it's like I've even started making friends with runners and staff and stuff, so it's just kind of gets weirder from there, Tony, I don't know what all runs you've seen, but I do have a short list of runs that I do suggest people go and watch.
I'd have to pull up the schedule to see which ones I watched.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and list off what I have. So, for the opening, they did Pikmin. It was a great opening, and the strategies that you got to see and the commentary, phenomenal. For an opening, they did great. In fact, it's like I want to go and play Pikmin 1 all over again, trying this guy's strategies just to make not to speed run the game, but to make it easier on myself in the long run.
Yeah.
They did Astrobot. They got like 200 of the bots. It was probably the most I've ever seen of that game ever played. Let's see. Oh, and it was just a lot of fun watching them play that. Just like Tony was talking about earlier with the game, just the nostalgia trip, really. I loved it. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. They showed off some new speed tech. And I went and rewatched that today just because I wanted to know a better way to explain this. And the new speed tech, you get Link into the water and you have to get him to do face one way and then face the other back and forth. Like you have to do it like 15 times within a second, and you build up the speed, and then you can launch him through the water and end up at wherever. And that's like task level doing that. You can see people doing it, usually just playing the game, but they're pause buffering and all this. This guy did it live, just on the controller, and then goes and gets the Wind Waker, and that Wind Waker forces a front view. So the new speed tech is you hold up on your controller, and Link's just auto turning around, like auto 180ing in the water with the trick that you do on top of that. And it's just crazy the way he abused that. Like, never talked to the sister, just never rode the boat. Just like, nope, off to save the world. Bye, everyone. Let's see. My list has games to watch that I haven't watched yet. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Good run. Cool run with lots of tricks that were shown off. Stuff that just some of the levels, these tricks make the levels actually playable. Because there's like a jungle level, and I can't tell you heads or tails. It's like a straightforward level with a lot of curving, verticality and stuff, and jumping and speed. And this, even with this, it made it even crazier. But it's just like, no, this just makes the level doable. While I was watching, there was a run of the letter D, as in dog, / Generation. This is an old PC game that I used to play, and so did my older sister. and I forgot the name of it, and then it just shows up on here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this game. I was amazed at seeing it played so brokenly.
Yeah.
But it also, like, again, that nostalgia factor just kicking in. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, that was run by Spike Vegeta. Dude is always entertaining. He's always doing stuff for GDQ. And there's a good reason he was running the game. It was just phenomenal to watch. Fallout New Vegas.
That was...
it's Fallout and a speed run. That I can't say anything more than that. It's just, there you go.
Well, Bethesda games and their brokenness.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. Golf with your grandmother. This was part of the Awful Block. Again, this is called Golf with Your Grandmother. Go watch it. I will say nothing else.
Okay.
Also, part of the Awful Block was Kevin Costner's Waterworld. This is not an official game. This is that video game arcade. This is the arcade game from the episode of The Simpsons that someone went and made into an actual playable game. So there's that part where you're putting 40 quarters into the machine at the very start. 1 quarter at a time.
Oh, gosh.
And then you can play the game. You take one step. Game over. Insert 40 more quarters. And so a guy actually played the game. I think he had 1 death on there. Spoiler. It's very hard to get like the no death ending on there, but just amazing. And that someone's able to do that alone. Because that game is not control friendly. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Going down the list. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I caught the tail end of this because I wanted to ignore as much of it as I could for 2 reasons. 1, I'm playing it right now, and 2, why is my mouse lit up a different color? That is weird. And 2, sorry, the mouse wheel was purple and the rest of the mouse was like a green blue, and it's doing it again. What the heck? Oh, I know why. Okay, never mind. I will stop being distracted by shiny objects. Sorry. The other reason I didn't want to watch it was like a 6-hour long run. And I get it. It's like, let's get a good long run in there. At the same time, it's like you could have had a shorter run or a number of shorter runs in here instead. But that's fine. It's a Final Fantasy game. I expect it to be long.
Yeah.
There was the Nintendo World Champions, whatever you call that game. I've abbreviated on the notes here. Actually, it's someone else's notes I copied because I wanted to watch some of the stuff he mentioned as well. Being honest here. But it was cool to see runners having to be versatile in a game made for speed. I forget, it was 3 or 4 people doing a race on this. I think it was 4. And it's like you have that rewind feature if you mess up and it rewinds slightly. There was also a Super Mario Brothers race. 4 runners playing at the same time, racing through the game, starting at pretty much the exact same time. And what they were doing, they had a special mode where all this was hooked up to, like, they're playing on separate TVs and consoles, but it was all run through one system. So you have a shared screen. Yeah. And so it's like whoever's in the lead, you're seeing everything real time on theirs. If someone's like behind by a couple of pixels or whatever because of whatever, then it's kind of a ghost mode happening behind that. So you have like transparent Goombas for this character's session. And so you have all that. If someone were to die and be a level behind, you would have a picture-in-picture down in the corner to see what they're doing. Then underneath all that, you have the entire world world map, and it's scrolling by showing the progress for everyone. It was really awesome to see that. And I think it was like the first time we got to see a sub 5-minute run. And it was like 2 people did sub 5 minutes on Super Mario Brothers or something. And and that's getting really, really close to perfection of the game. Like, even the task is like, I think 0.02 seconds or something ahead of what the human capability is at this currently. Because like right after the GDQ, I think someone set a new record for human capability on there, and they're not that far behind.
Yeah.
Really, really cool to see that. Let's see. There was a PS1 mystery tournament. I don't know how to explain this. It was random games, and they had like the finalists come up, and they had to compete against each other, and the winner is the winner. I can't explain what happened. There was a basketball fighting game at one point, and then other stuff happened. I think some push-ups were done on stage at one point. Tetris, the Grandmaster. This was done on I think it was on PS4 consoles. I need to drink some water. My mouth is drying out. But they did Tetris Grandmasters. It's always fun seeing that because that's usually an arcade level of console or of game to play, where they have to get some arcade parts or something shipped over to play that. And stuff happens when you ship stuff. Sometimes things don't work when they get there. Or maybe you have a controller with a broken button. But it's always cool seeing the Grandmaster stuff, because like I wish I could play Tetris just normally. I am horrible at Tetris. Same for Puyo Puyo. It's like I would love to be able to be good at that.
Yeah, I am awful at that game.
And I think they did bust out a arcade version of it, and they did like one run on there, and it got to where the blocks turned into the calculator port of the original game or something, and got lost shortly after that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, phenomenal racing on that. Shortcuts, just yeah. SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, the game, did not expect it to be that entertaining, and we got to hear
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So go watch that one if you get a chance. There was an Elden Ring lockout bingo.
Okay.
So they had a bingo board, and they were basically locking each other out, and then it came down to like who can have the most number of wins, I guess, or something. I don't know. And I'm not going to spoil who won on there. It was just it came down to it got very close on there. We'll just go with that. Crazy Taxi with a live band playing music from the game,
so they could get around copyright.
That, and just the crowd loved it. They had like a mosh pit going at one point. They had staff standing in front to be bodyguards and security or whatever for safety for the people on stage. And just like how my voice is trying to get out because I'm needing to drink water. The guy that was singing, his voice was giving out, and I'm just like, yeah. He was singing one of the Offspring songs, and you just hear him. His voice just cracks, and just it was so good. There was also Ocarina of Time. I forget what it was, a randomizer, and I forget if it was Key Sanity or not. But it was also there was a randomizer for items, and like if you went into like if you went into the Deku Tree, I think you were like in the water temple or something like that. So it like varied from place to place, like which dungeon you would end up in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like really easy to end up like in a adult dungeon as child Link or vice versa or something.
Is this the one that they played as Dampy?
Yes.
Okay.
They had a bid war for who you play as, and it was Dampé or Miku. Miku was winning, and then Dampé said no.
I would have loved to have seen Miku.
So would the people that were voting for Miku. And I'm really happy with what actually happened. Because we got to see little Dampé, child Dampé, and he's talking to adult Dampé, and it's like father and son moment. There it is. There was also a Mario 64 A button challenge done by TAS, tool assisted speedrun. And then they did a one key run as well. Let's see. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Oh, right. New Super Mario Bros. On Wii. This will be my last one, then I'm going to shut up. Because I'm, again, running out of ability to talk. If you don't want to watch any of them, at least watch this one. This dude, who was it? Wes, that's all it says. He played Super Mario Brothers Wii. Okay. He played it. He controlled Mario with his head, where he like tilts his head left or right, Mario runs that way. He looks up, Mario jumps. He looks down, Mario ducks. His head. On his foot, he has his jump and grab and throw button and run button or whatever you want to call that. He has that on one of his feet. I think he had a Joy-Con. He was pushing buttons with his foot. And he played the piano with his hands.
Yeah, he played the soundtrack. Yeah.
He played the music of the game while he was playing the game. He even did a level blindfolded.
Yeah, that was a crazy run.
I can't even. It was insane. I don't. I can't do it justice. That's all I can say.
Yeah. There was some really good runs, and there's a pretty sizable list of ones that I haven't seen yet that I need to go back and watch.
Yeah, I still have so many I need to watch. Oh wait, last one. Last one is the Super Metroid run at the very end, the closer. That is a good run too.
Was that the 4-player race?
Yes.
Yeah, those character models were weird.
Understandably so. But it was kind of neat seeing Kirby as Samus.
Yeah, there was. Who was the character? There was like two of them. One of them standing on the other one's shoulders.
Link.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was just two Links standing on one on the other's shoulders. And so instead of having the power cannon, the fire or whatever, it's the magic wand. It's the Link from was it Link to the Past?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Super Nintendo sprites of them. They're standing on the shoulders using a magic wand to shoot while the other does the running and jumping. Thought that was a very clever sprite right there. That's because that was also a randomizer.
Yeah. Like, there's some of the runs that I want to go back. I was watching the Mega Man 10 run right before we started recording the show. I want to go watch the Roadrunner run. Any of the Zelda runs I haven't seen yet. I want to go watch. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
They had a lot of Zelda. They had a lot of Zelda.
Yeah, they did. I want to see the Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare run.
I caught a little bit of it. I had zero interest, so it kind of was just there in the background for me.
And Liza P as well.
I was actually watching that whenever you got into the channel earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
very much a Souls-like game.
It was a very good show this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they have for SGDQ. Hopefully, they have a run that is submitted by one Mr. Ethan.
Yeah, I would love to see your not Metal Gear Solid run.
I also have an incentive I'm going to add to this year that wasn't there last year.
Yeah?
Keep it a secret for now.
Okay. That's probably a good idea.
I told Stuart. I'll tell you offline.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that'll be the show for this week. I highly recommend going back. Speedrunning is just fun to watch regardless, because the way people break these games, some of them you're like, how in the world is that even possible to figure out?
Yeah, and
it's just clever, some of the things that they do.
Yes. And even with like Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World, we'll go with that one because that's a staple. That game's been run so much that it's been run into the dirt. I'm just gonna be honest. It's like, oh, someone submitted Super Mario World. Who cares at this point? It's like, no. I'm submitting Kaizo Mario World 3 or Grand Poo World 2 or something. And it's like, oh, and I'm doing a skip like this and that. That's going to get their attention more than just Super Mario World. So, like, the modding community for these games these older games has sparked a whole new level of interest in there as well.
Yeah.
Because we had Super Chefy World, Kaizo Mario World 3, and Fresh Hops. Those are all three just mods of Super Mario World. And that completely changes the game, and it was just really awesome to see.
Yeah. So, highly recommend people go back and check out some of the runs. Find some games that you're interested in. Find some that you maybe have no interest in, and those can still be fun to watch.
Yeah, you can actually find their stuff on their YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Games Done Quick, all one word, I guess, or whatever. Just type it in separately, it doesn't matter. Or you can go to GDQVODS.com, and you can find what year and what run and what runner and for what event happened, and watch stuff from there too.
There you go. But I think that will be the show for this week. So thank you very much, Ethan, for being here.
Sorry if I talked too much about GDQ, but there's too much awesome to contain in this podcast.
We can never talk too much about GDQ.
Oh, we could. I'll find a way. Challenge accepted.
There you go. And with that, we'll see everybody next time.
Bye, everyone.